Hey Rita, isn't it about time to change that Glade plugins refill?
Refill your Glade plugins every 45 days to keep your home Glade fresh.
Plug it in, plug it in.
Fresh.
Plug it in, plug it in.
Fresh.
Plug it in, plug it in.
All right, good morning, 8th grade math. This was an old commercial from back in the day, and at the end of it, it was for Glade plugins. At the end, it just would always say, plug it in, plug it in. That's what we're doing today with the quadratic formula, just plug it in, plug it in. So here it is one more time.
Hey lady, isn't it about time to change that Glade plugins refill?
Refill your Glade plugins every 45 days to keep your home Glade fresh.
Plug it in, plug it in.
Fresh.
Plug it in, plug
Now you got a
it
fish
in.
telling you to plug it in.
Plug it in,
Just curious what the
plug
last
it
one is.
Refill your Glade plugins every 45 days to keep your home Glade fresh. Plug it in, plug it in.
That's weird.
Fresh. Plug it in, plug it in. Be fresh.
All right, last one.
Plug it in.
Someone refill that Glade plug-in!
For lasting freshness, don't forget to refill your Glade plugins.
All right, so let's start plugging it in then. So, anywho, in today's reference videos, we're going to start, this is page 38A of your packet. Plug it in with the quadratic formula. So, hopefully you watched the first video I sent to you about the woman with the blue background, and I think she did a really good job, particularly explaining something that we're really going to focus on in the next section, but I want to introduce it now because no time like the present, which is the discriminant. So hopefully you remembered from the video that this part of the formula really tells you some important things. If you get a positive number, you're going to get two solutions. If you get 0, you get one solution. Of course, if you get a negative number, you get no solution. So keep that in mind when you do today's checkpoints. But let's do some examples together. Namely, we'll do 3. We'll save the math by 5 examples for Wednesday's hangout. So here goes. So let's plug it in with example 1. So the first thing you're going to do is identify A, B, and C. Right now it's not in standard form, so I'm going to have to rewrite this as 3x squared plus 5x minus 8. I'll say minus 8 from both sides equals 0. So now my A equals 3, my B equals 5, and my C equals negative 8. Now, just like the formula says, plug it in, plug it in. If you don't remember the quadratic formula, we could always go back and check out this wonderful TikTok.
This is the quadratic
Where'd it go?
This is the quadratic formula TikTok dance. Ready? X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. A 2a.
All right, so just a little trip down memory lane from Friday. So let's fill that in here. Plug it in, plug it in. So let's see here. I'll try to keep my. I was gonna try to do keep it all color coded, but I know I'm just gonna do a bad job. So I'll write it out really quick. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So when we plug these numbers in for a, b, and c, I get x equals negative b would be negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 5 squared minus 4 times a is 3 times c is negative 8 all over 2 times 3. Sweet. So now when we start cleaning that up, let's just zoom in here. When we start cleaning that up, let's work with the discriminant first. So you're left with plus or minus 5 squared is 25, and then it's actually going to be 12 times 8 which is going to be 96. Positive, so negative times positive times negative is back to positive 96. All divided by 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so we can clean that up a little bit. 25 plus 96 is actually 121. So we're left with negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 121, all divided by 6. So now we're in a good spot here because we know it's positive, so there's going to be 2 solutions. And it's actually even better because the square root of 121 is perfect. So you're just left with negative 5 plus or minus 11 divided by 6. So now, if you do negative 5 plus 11 divided by 6, negative 5 plus 11 is actually 6 divided by 6 is equal to 1. Or negative 5 plus negative 11 is negative 16 divided by 6, which is negative 2 2/3 for that solution. So that's the first example today. Let's do our second example today. This one right here. So again, this one's not in standard form just yet. So we're going to minus x from both sides. Rewrite this as 2x squared minus x minus 7 equals 0. Okay, so now let's label our A, B, and C. So our A is 2, our B is negative 1, and our C is negative 7. We'll write out the quadratic formula. In case you didn't remember it, let's go to a different guy here. Remember this guy? We realized was German. Oh, why did you keep doing that? Sorry, guys.
Of the quadratic equation, I promise you it's possible without any frustration if you take everything, move it to one side. Square root of negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
All right, so let's go ahead and whenever I hear the 2A, I think of that TikTok video of going, hey. But anyways, so let's go ahead, and I like to write the formula just to get started here. So I'll write x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so I'll start plugging this in, and then I'll plug it in, and get my solution, or solutions, or no solution. So negative b, negative 1 is just 1, plus or minus negative 1 squared, and then it's minus 4 times 2 times negative 7 all over 2 times a. Oops, 2 times a is 2 times 2. Okay, so that's me plugging it all in. So now I'm going to simplify, and I'll start with cleaning up that discriminant here. So that's going to be 1 plus or minus the square root. 1 squared is 1. And then we got 2 times, well, negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 times negative 7 is plus 56. So plus 56, all divided by 2 times 2, which is 4. So you're left with 1 plus or minus square root of 57, not as perfect as the last one, divided by 4. Square root of 57 is about 7.5. So I have this math done out ahead of time. So you're left with 1 plus or minus 7.5 approximately, because that's an irrational number, divided by 4. So that comes out to 2 possible answers. You either get 2.125 or negative 1.625. Okay. Let's do one more. So again, I'll save the math by 5 examples for Wednesday. So if you go to, let's do the one on page 38, and then that would be good for today. So on page 38, you have this example here. Okay, so let's work our way through the quadratic formula. Make sure, this isn't one we haven't done yet. So you're left with here. The first thing we have to do is write it in standard form. So if you minus 3x on both sides, you're left with 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 equals 0. Now this has a lot of it. So our a value, b, and c value. I'll just write here a equals 2, b equals -3, and c equals -5. So now when I start plugging in, this is kind of nice that it's written for me. Negative b would be 3, no, negative -3, and then -3 squared minus 4 times a times c, like that, all divided by 2a, like that, 2 times 2. All right, so if I do that right, clean that up a little bit, down here, -3 is just 3, all right? -4 times 2 is -8 times -5 is 40. Aha, and 40 times plus 40 plus 3 squared, so that's positive 40. Yeah, -3 squared is 49. Works out nice. And then times 4. So another nice perfect one here. So I'm going to put 3 plus or minus square root of 49 is 7, all divided by 4. So the solutions to this one are 3 plus 7 divided by 4, which is 2.5, or 3 minus 7 divided by 4, which is just 1. So your solutions are 2.5 and 1. So I'm going to end the video reference here because between both video references and working for a half hour, you're just going to have 3 examples to do. One of them will have, so look at the, I think I have it here for you. I can show it to you. Look at the form that I created for you. Bring it over here. So I kind of didn't use the exact checkpoints from the pages here. So this one is from your book. This is checkpoint number 1 on page 39. But then I put in 2 different ones: 3x squared minus 6x plus 7, and the 9x squared one. So one of these will have no solution, and one of them will only have 1 solution. So see if you can figure those out and do the best you can. And have a great Tuesday.